What'd you say?
White people references.
And welcome to the Large Garbage Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Bucked Up Energy. Bucked Up is a fitness company that that sells anything from pre-workout to protein powder to energy drinks to supplements to equipment to clothes to merch, whatever you need fitness related, they probably have it. Use code TRASH1 for 20% off purchases that do not include energy drinks and protein sodas. Thank you, Bucked Up, for sponsoring the podcast. Let's get into the show and Rashid's racist remarks.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Welcome back to the Largely Garbage Podcast. I'm here with two people, my regular co-host, Rashid, and a possible future producer who's already been on the show, twice now. Welcome back, Brian.
Hello.
So, Rashid, what was that about white people?
I don't understand white people references most of the time. Yeah.
That was it?
That was it. Yeah.
I was trying to catch you a little bit.
Which is sick. Also, Ryan says the N-word religious.
No,
No, I don't.
If you're tuning in, it took him way too long to answer. You guys know the truth. The man
That's crazy. That's
adores
crazy.
the N-word.
That's crazy. No, I don't. That's
What's the
crazy.
topic for today?
Well, I'd like to go on the record and say he's
You
wrong.
don't have to do that.
He's wrong.
Let's
Anyways,
start.
let's start the show. I found a list, and we're going to play a little game. Am I a terrorist? So this list is from. Now I will start this by saying that this was I think it's an executive order written by our Lord and Savior Donald Trump, and he, our best friend, and
guys heard him.
yeah,
oh hell.
yeah, y'all heard him. But he wrote this order because he's trying to classify domestic groups as terrorists, and this article goes through the executive order and kind of breaks down exactly what their indicators of violence is. So we're going to go through these indicators of violence to see if we are in fact terrorists. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
We are.
We're going to start off with anti-Americanism.
Okay. But what like constitutes
Yeah.
anti-American?
America?
Well, that's up to them, though, isn't it?
What is America? It is.
It's up to them, right? Yeah, it's up to them what is anti-American because, signing an executive order saying that burning the American flag you can go up to, a year in jail. That's an anti-American executive order, because there's literally a part of the First Amendment about burning the flag, saying that you're allowed to burn the flag as long as it's not like a dangerous thing that you're doing. So I guess it's up to them. What do you
He's
consider
already
to be?
broken so many laws.
I mean, yeah, but what do you consider to be anti-American? Other than obviously, because rules for thee, not for me. So obviously anything that the current administration is currently doing, that's exempt, of course. So what's anti-American to you?
I mean, to me, anti-American is just anti-American. I don't know what these guys are talking about, or what. I
To
think
me,
these guys are just
anti-American
gender.
is anti-freedom, which our government is anti-American. So
There you go. But I did
Right.
tell you to, not what they're doing.
Yeah, we're going on a political tirade these next few episodes.
Yeah, we're
Strap
pretty upset. Or I'm pretty upset. I don't know about him, but
I'm just
I'm
here.
unable,
Yeah, whatever. Okay, next, anti-capitalism is another indicator of violence, which a lot of the country is anti-capitalist.
I am definitely a terrorist on that one.
Yeah. So far, I mean, I'm pretty,
Do you
I'm
think
pretty
most
anti.
of the country is anti-capitalist. I think a lot of the country is like for capitalism, but they have no idea what it is. Like they don't know what they're.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that. I think I do know a lot of people are starting to lean towards not quite socialism, but like democratic socialism, you know? Just because of kind of how successful like Mamdani's campaign is and how attractive it is to a lot of people now. So I think a lot of people are leaning a little more towards there. And I did learn about like the difference in school the other week about like the difference between like communism, capitalism, and socialism. So I know what capitalism is.
Did they teach you about socialism? Because there's nothing in this country close to socialism.
There's never technically been like straight up socialism.
There's never been a
socialist successful socialist country.
There's also never been a successful communist country. Most countries considered communist, like Russia, China, or North Korea, they're mostly totalitarian.
Totalitarian. Yeah.
Totalitarianism.
I mean, so yeah, we did learn, and so it was like communism is like governmental enforced, like basically everybody gets their necessities all the same. It's like anti-classist, basically. So there is no upper, middle,
there's
or lower
no class. There's
no class. We're all in this together.
Yeah. If the country gains money, we all gain money. If everybody gets an Xbox, everybody gets a house, it's just all the same. When we move up, if we move up as a country, then we all move up together.
Just one giant cog. There's not a bunch of little and big cogs, you know.
Right.
And then capitalism is, you know, companies able to make their own money, so there's no limit on how much money an individual or a company can make.
Right.
They don't have to give. The only people they have to give money to is the government. They don't have to give money to anybody else. Yeah, because of taxes. And then socialism is almost it's almost right in between there. Which is, you know, basically the goal of it is to try and bring the upper class and the lower class closer together. So it's like taxing the rich to provide for taxing the ultra rich to provide for the ultra poor. So it's trying to kind of expand the middle class while reducing the other two, which I think is a pretty noble goal. I mean, I feel like if I was a billionaire, I probably wouldn't be a billionaire for long because I'd be, you know,
giving out money,
distributing the wealth, kind of helping people out. Not just giving out, you know, bags of money, but like, you know, the guy on the corner of Washington and Green Bay, I'd probably buy him a house, you know, or
trying to help somebody improve their lives.
Right. You know, but then there's like democratic socialism, which, because, you know, socialism is basically like governmental enforcement of doing that. Democratic socialism is like, you know, most of the laws that are being presented for voting upon have to do with that, but, you know, people can reject it and vote against it. So I'm all for democratic socialism. I love the idea.
Terms coming from, because those don't come from like the American Sociology Association, right?
You asked
because there are actual classes for different types of societies.
Yeah,
and like a democratic socialism. Democratic socialist is not one of them. So where do those terms come from?
I think so. It's basically, it was like a gimme term because people were trying to classify places like Sweden, Denmark, places like that as socialist countries, but they're not socialist countries,
right?
Because they still allow votes. So they kind of, you know, they're just the happiest countries with the best GOPs and, you know, stuff like that. So they kind of gave them the term democratic socialism to kind of, it's basically like,
though, I guess,
there's a lot of, this is what we had learned, and I don't remember what the actual sources were for the terms, but the democratic socialism, it was like capitalism, socialism, communism, but then capitalism in between capitalism and socialism was democratic socialism. So it's kind of like I think it's like it's just like a new term for, I don't know. I think it's like a
free market capitalism.
You know what? Let me quit pulling shit out of my ass real quick and just get like the actual definition of the term real quick so that I can stop, What the fuck? What button did I just press? So, let me see. Let me actually just see when the term was coined, because I'm pretty sure I'm kind of spot on about that, but let me... Was it created, maybe? Or when was the term created? History of democratic socialism. It says 1880s to 1900s. So, but the actual term means, I don't want to keep going to Wikipedia. Sorry, I should have had all this prepared, but we had no idea where we were going with this.
Yeah, I was just interested.
Yeah, democratic socialism is a left-wing economic and political philosophy that supports political democracy and some forms of socially owned economy.
So that's what I was looking for. It's a political philosophy. It's not a social
No, it's not. It's not a classification.
No. Okay.
It's kind of like a subcategory. That's what I was thinking. The word I was thinking of, subcategory of socialism.
But it's created in a study of politics, not in a study of society.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. It's more referring to the political nature.
The political side.
So okay. I am all for it. I am the only reason that I wouldn't. Oh, hey, breaking news. Since I was just about to talk about Zohran Mamdani, Eric Adams dropped out of the mayoral race.
Okay.
He's the Republican nominee, so now there's nobody opposing him other than Cuomo as a
come on,
independent. Cuomo. But everybody hates Cuomo. Like, nobody likes Cuomo. Most people hated Eric Adams, too. Other than the Republicans in New York, which are so far and few.
It's not really a race.
No, Zohran's got it now. He's got it. Congratulations, Zohran Mamdani. No, I think the only problem that I have with it, and I've been listening to a couple different podcasts today to try and get a couple different perspectives on things, and I think it will what a lot of the things that he plans on doing will. It's one of the things that'll maybe in some forms get rid of some jobs, but eventually create a lot more. Because there's a couple businesses that won't really be able to afford paying livable wages to certain people, so those businesses will probably go under because they can't afford it, and then they'll be replaced with businesses that can. But it's one of those things where it's like, we're going to have to tear some down to build some new. And that's not necessarily a negative, I don't think. But it is definitely like a consequence, which I'm kind of back and forth on. Some of the mom and pop shops aren't going to be able to afford raising their wages by as much as he's proposing, because I'm pretty sure he wants to raise their minimum wage by quite a fucking bit. But that would also in turn, lower rents and stuff like that. So it might be enough of a trade-off, but there's probably going to be some businesses lost in the process. We talked about this in my business law class, actually. But yeah, shout out to Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah, better for the people, those small businesses out there, that sucks.
Yeah,
I work with a lot of them.
That's just my own theory, though. I could be completely wrong. It could work out perfectly, but something like that's never really been done in America before, at least. So we don't know how it's going to work out.
They did it in California. It hiked everything up, but it's like it's a minimum wage that actually fits the area.
Oh,
so him doing it would just.
Speaking of California, actually, so since I've been trying to hear different perspectives, and I'm actually trying to like get a little more into politics, as in like a local side, and my dad told me, he's like, you're gonna have to start getting used to hearing from the sides that you don't want to hear from if you want to get into politics. So I was like, all right, fine. So I listened to the Sean Ryan show. Shout out the Sean Ryan show. He's like I think he's like former special forces, pretty right wing guy, but he had like a 4-hour interview with Gavin Newsom, and gotta say, it was a great fucking interview, dude. Like Sean Ryan's pretty like, I wouldn't say he's anti-vax, but he's definitely like a vaccine skeptic. He's pretty right wing. The only thing he's kind of not as right wing as people think he is on immigration. He's pretty aware that like, you know, immigrants are very prominent in the country and they're very important to the country. But like overall, like they're pretty opposite on everything. And the first thing that Sean Ryan does before he starts the show is he gives gifts to his guests. He gave Gavin Newsom a SIG, like a 6 hour, like a 6 hour macro, like a fucking gun. And he's like, Gavin Newsom surprised the fuck out of me. He's just like, this is fucking awesome. Like, I love this. I was like, all right. Like, California, he goes on to talk about like the statistics of California, and I was really impressed with how much Gavin knows off the top of his head. I mean, I know he's the governor, so he should know a lot of like the stats, but like politicians in the past couple of years have really not been super smart. So like to hear one that actually just knows shit is really refreshing, but really surprising. Like he's like, California is 41% bigger than the second biggest, or 41% bigger economy than the second biggest economy state, the fourth biggest economy in the world, blah blah blah. And he's going down these numbers and statistics, and man, this guy is smart, and he can talk. Like he's like Matthew McConaughey, like, which is a good thing if you haven't heard Matthew McConaughey speak. There were. Fuck, I lost it. I lost the plot. I lost what I was talking about.
We're back on the terrorist list.
Oh yeah, we're back on the terrorist list. I'm sorry. So anti-capitalism, we're all terrorists?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Rashid's a terrorist.
Okay.
Are you a terrorist on anti-capitalism?
I don't know. It's whatever they say, man. They say I'm a terrorist. I don't know what to say.
All right. The next one is anti-Christianity.
Anti-Christianity.
That's crazy.
Like I said, I don't know. Whatever they're deeming it as.
Right. So if you were like, I don't think the 10 Commandments should be in schools, they're gonna see that as anti-Christianity, right? More than likely, that's the scope of what they're thinking. I mean, if you're going and shooting up a church, yeah, like I get that. That's where I'm thinking. That's where I'm looking at.
That sounds like terrorism.
That sounds like terrorism to me. But if you're just like, I'm not a Christian, they're gonna be like, well, guess what you are. Which having anti-Christianity as like a definition for like an indicator of violence, you know what they mean. They mean like Muslims. Like that's what they mean. We all know what they mean by that. Like they're just sugarcoating. It's like, well, any anti-Christian rhetoric, but it's just gonna be like a different religion other than like Judaism, Christians, or Catholics. Everything other than those three, it's going to be like, well, that's anti-Christian. You're like, well, that's all right. Well, I guess I'm a terrorist, you know. And I'm not a Christian. I'm pretty open about it. But like, I guess that's an indicator of violence now. I don't know, but it's again,
you're a terrorist, dude.
I'm a terrorist.
You're getting arrested.
Getting arrested. They're fucking listen to this. Listen to my balls. Fucking
listen to his balls.
Fucking lick my balls while you're at it too.
Hey,
this next one. So I guess I'd probably be the only terrorist here, right, on that one, on anti-Christianity.
No.
But are you anti?
Well, again, it's up to them. But
if you're not evangelical Christian, or am I a terrorist? Because I can't get with these guys, bro.
they're doing way too much, bro. I don't know what.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
So I think what I want to find, like, I'll say that it's going to be like, for at least the concept of this show, or like the context of this show, we're gonna call it right in between, like, saying I don't think the 10 Commandments should be in schools and shooting up church. This is like right in the middle of there, wherever you think that is. That's probably going to be anti-Christian. Do you think the 10 Commandments should be posted in schools?
That's a pretty wide range. I don't know. Do I think that? Oh no. I don't think so. I think we should teach laws in schools, but this is the land of free, and not everybody, have the same beliefs. That's what makes our country so great, is that we have all these different perspectives and everything.
That's what you think this country. This country is.
No, that's scripted. They told him to say that. They told him to say that.
I mean,
well, that's how it's supposed to be.
10 Commandments are what I thought about was, like, there's like 3 or 4 things in the 10 Commandments that are laws. Like, murder, steal, whatever. But the rest of it is literally just so specific to Christianity that if you want to learn the 10 Commandments, go to church. There's whole buildings. There's schools about God to go and learn this shit. It doesn't need to be in schools, like in the rest of schools. Unless you are a Christian institution, which there's plenty of those. If you want your kid to grow up in a Christian school, there are Christian schools, but public schools should not have, anything religious on the walls. Like, if your teacher is a Christian, she wants to have a cross on her desk, fine. But, like, other than that,
if it's a Christian school, it makes sense. There are Christian schools, Catholic schools,
Yeah, they exist.
I'm pretty sure there are Jewish and
there are schools for those too. There's very fewer. There's much fewer in this country of, like, the Muslim schools and the Jewish schools, but, like, there are.
Wait, so does that mean that we would be terrorists for being anti-Christian if we don't go to church on Sundays?
Probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it is in the 10th.
I think anything we do is probably going to be deemed anti whatever.
Right. So this next
one,
even
if we're following the list,
this next one is a big thing with the rules for thee and not for me that they've been doing a lot lately. The support for the overthrow of the United States government. I mean, I don't think that there's a bigger indicator of supporting the overthrow of the government than January 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite literally what it was. Like, there was he's like, I don't agree with something that the government was doing. Let's go to the Capitol and show them who's boss.
Yeah. And all we did was protest. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, but is the support of the overthrow of the government, is that protesting? It could, in their eyes, it could be.
Yeah, that is.
It could be. So, yeah, I guess. So, I'm so far 4 for 4.
Pretty much, yeah, 4 for 4. I gotta say, that's
these next ones are so vague with their language, and I think that's on purpose so that they can define what they think. This next one is extremism on migration. But what's extreme?
What is extreme? That doesn't make any sense.
Is it? I think we should completely open the borders to everyone, that's pretty extreme, right? I don't agree with that. I don't think that.
I don't agree with that.
Or is it we should make it easier for people to migrate the legal way? Is that extreme?
Or, like, opening doors to countries that are, like, in genocide and apartheid and all that stuff? Like, is that extreme?
Refugees. Is that extreme? Is it extreme to provide, legal access for immigrants that are already here in and getting their citizenship? Or should we? Or I think extremism on migration is deport them all. I think that's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
If you
and that costs a lot of money. That costs a lot of money,
dude. The budget for ICE is insane. Like
I'm telling you,
it was already a lot.
You could cure cancer with that money, bro. Like you could figure out a solution to fucking homelessness with that money.
Conspiracy theory, they already have the cure for cancer. All right.
We know this. We know this.
All right.
Big Pharma doesn't want you to know that.
They don't want you to know. Bro, I bet Trump's probably had cancer like 9 times and he just pops a pill every day and he's like, "Oh, I'm cured. Like now I can live forever and piss everyone off." Like next one is extremism on race. But I guess you could probably say I'm extreme on migration, though. Actually, before we move to that one, I mean, I don't know. I'm not extreme on migration. Actually, I'm pretty like. I think it shouldn't cost as much because I don't think money is the problem. Like people are trying to escape poverty in their country, so why would they have the money to become a citizen if it's that expensive? And like lawyers are expensive. I think the estimate was like minimum 10 grand for like the whole process, and that's just within like the first like year and a half, 2 years of that. I'm like, that's too much money. Like I wouldn't be able to become a citizen of this country right now if I wasn't.
Yeah.
And
I think it should be currency. Yeah. Their currencies are so much different than ours too. So
what'd you say, Rashid?
I said I think most of the country wouldn't be able to, just because. I mean, have you seen the test? Nobody in this country is passing.
I think the test, like, I'm fine. I'm fine with a test. Right. You know, like learn some shit about the country that you're about to move to. That's fine.
Right.
But
that my point is that like naturalized citizens aren't passing that test, but they think that they should have the right to, you know, nobody here came from here except for the people that did, which is like maybe 12%.
And look how we treat them.
Right.
I don't know. I'm cool with the test, you know, learn. Obviously like forcing people to become bilingual to be in this country is kind of crazy because vast majority of this country isn't bilingual. And there's plenty of other countries where people live that don't speak the language and they do just fine. I mean, I'm sure it's difficult, but like they get by. So like requiring you to speak English because, you know, Trump had made English the national language, which was I thought that was already established, but I guess now it's in writing, you know? But like already, so you get people to take a test, right? Which, okay, fine. But now you want them to learn a whole new language. So you already want them to be way smarter than the current population of the United States. Because the vast majority of people only speak one language. And most of them probably couldn't pass the citizenship test. So you're already requiring a lot. And now you also want 10 grand from them at minimum, which is going to be more than 10 grand. So like I think it's too much. It's way too much. So that's why people aren't doing that. They're just finding a tunnel and following it and just kind of walking in and doing shit. And like obviously I don't completely agree with that, but you're not going to see us sitting here and disagree with people deporting criminals, but like they're working, they're paying taxes, they're raising a family here, they have a house. Why are we getting rid of them? Just say, "Hey, how long you been here? You've been paying taxes for this long? All right, take this test real quick, and then, you know, here's your card." Like, it's just, I feel like it's dumb. So maybe I'm extremist on that. I don't know. You want to move on to the next one, or do you have anything to add on that one?
No. Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, extremism on race. Rashid's out of here. You know, he hates Filipinos, dude.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently me, because I use the N-word a lot. But but no, that's fine actually. You're allowed to be racist against black people in this country. That's not extreme, but you know,
right?
Everything else, Over. Get out of here. Extremism on race, they could probably just define that as, anything that's not white supremacy, Because you probably saying free Palestine, that could be considered extremist on race, which, if you guys didn't know the ideology of this show, free Palestine.
Yes.
If you guys were curious on that.
Free them.
Yeah, I mean, extremists on race, that could literally just, having like a black pride, like flag or whatever, like a bumper sticker says black and proud. And they're like, well, gotta get out of here, buddy. You're a fucking terrorist.
BLM.
Bullen. Extremism on gender? I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I'm just trying to understand, like, is it a negative or a positive?
Yeah, right. Like, there was that one post that Dad put into the group chat where it was Trump rejecting the meeting with the Democrats about the budget, which is why the government's got to shut down. And the meeting, they asked why he canceled the meeting, and he's like, these Democrats are crazy. They want transgender for everybody. And I was like, I get a transgender? Like, what? I get one? You get one? Transgenders for everybody. We just all get one in our house? What do you mean, dude? You didn't read it. You didn't read their budget proposal. But, right. If everybody gets a transgender, mine's going to cook and clean.
That's fucked. Oh, God.
That's what he said. He said we all get one. Mine's gonna do my nails, I guess. I'll have an in-house nail tech. I don't know, man. It's not a real situation.
Cool. Yeah, I'd give them a trade, so they can...
They'd probably be our podcast producer, honestly.
Yeah.
They could come up with some crazy topics, I'm sure. Probably got some wild stories, Transgenders are awesome. We support transgender rights in here, by the way. Also, if you guys have any questions about 100%. That. I don't support owning a transgender. I want that to be clear, because I just realized that probably wasn't clear in my messaging, my wording. But I don't know what extremism on gender is. Is it just they probably consider that just putting your pronouns in your email, That one's dumb. I'm gonna just couple these next three together because they can all go in the same one, because they're basically what we've already talked about. Hostility towards those that hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. I mean, again, they use the vagueness of the word hostility, and also traditional. How traditional? What era of tradition are you talking about? Are you talking about 1850s traditional or nuclear family tradition?
Smack my wife.
Right. I'm beat my wife when I get home. And everybody's like, hey, you can't do that. And they're like, hey, that's hostility towards traditional American values.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah, we don't like that. And I saw this post that was like, y'all talk about men were terrible in the 50s, but imagine that you get home from the war to end all wars to go work in a steel plant where you lost 3 fingers already, and you get home and your wife is high on Quaaludes and she gives you Jell-O for dinner. Yeah.
Crazy work.
I was like, the Quaaludes is wild.
Quaaludes is insane.
I mean, that's pretty traditional American values right there. Is you go work in a fucking factory and then you get home and your wife is high as fuck on oxys.
Yeah. Keep the tradition going.
Keep the tradition going, man. Let's get a bottle of Quaaludes for the house.
All right, what are we doing?
It's now just Xanax, but Quaaludes are more fun because they're less regulated.
This is a very different podcast.
Yeah. I guess I'm a terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sells Quaaludes.
And I sell Quaaludes.
Ludes.
Y'all want some ludes? I'm fucking. We're getting. Getting fucked up. I think the difference in this podcast is I'm not drinking in this podcast episode.
Oh, so you need to be. Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
I need social lubricant. I don't need social lubricant, but for a podcast, maybe. So he did it again. It wasn't him. It wasn't the same guy. You know how last week I said that thing about that that Fox News host that said that like homeless people should be killed?
Yeah.
There's another Fox News host that said that the UN should be bombed. Did you guys see that?
No.
You didn't see that? It's insane. He like, and it was about that escalator thing. Did you hear about that? That Trump was going up the escalator of the UN and it just stopped, and now he's like, I want whoever stopped the escalator to be prosecuted. And you're like, dude, dogs. Like, dude, it was just like either it was a malfunction or somebody leaned on the stop button, but it's an escalator. When it stops, they're just stairs. Like,
right.
Just walk up the.
He doesn't know what those
walk
are.
up the fucking stairs. Also, there was an escalator right next to it, and they just walked up the stairs anyway. But the Fox News host. Hold on, I'll find it real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Is this it?
Now Trump's back. He was right about everything, and they're forced to take him seriously.
No,
now,
that's not that one.
Biden, the Speaker of the House, says.
Yeah. Okay. I can't find. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Because it's kind of fucking crazy that they keep getting away with that, but what's his name was taken off the air. But that man, hold on, because I do want to find it. I might just cut my searching period of it. I'll find it on TikTok probably, because.
What we need to do is
either
leave the UN.
Yeah, right. He said.
What we need to do is either leave the UN, or we need to bomb it. It is in New York, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
He said,
out there.
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on with you?
They're talking about a fucking escalator, bro. Like, and I commented on one of Fox News' posts just about Jesse Waters. It was not about that, but it was just around. And I was like, so I commented, I said, so if somebody actually bombs the UN, are you going to be held accountable, or are you going to fucking advocate for the, like, removal of another fucking late night host? Like, it's crazy. Like, Fox News is insane. If you watch Fox News for anything other than, like, you're a left-leaning podcaster or news anchor and you want to know what they're saying, stop watching Fox News, dude. You're not getting news. I think, honestly, just news and the news in general, y'all should stop watching it and find shit out on your own, because everything's so partisan and biased.
100%.
Like, Fox News is like, it's as bad as some of the other news stations, just in the opposite direction. Like, get your news from people who are just reporting news, not what they think about the news that they received and now they're relaying it to you. That's all Fox News is the conservative view on what's happening. Like, it's not, I don't know. I get pretty frustrated when hearing Fox News. That's why I started listening to the Sean Ryan show, because I was like, I gotta find some talking points that conservatives might have that I actually agree with. And it's quite the struggle, because apparently I'm a terrorist. So According to them, I am a terrorist. Apparently, Antifa is a terrorist organization, which just means anti-fascist.
Yeah, I saw that.
How far have we come, right?
Right. Like, just being... And it's like, how far have we come to where saying that you're either anti-fascist or anti-genocide, you're just some liberal pussy cuck, right? Like, you fucking pussy. It's like, oh, you don't like Hitler? Fucking pussy. Like,
but back to the racism, extremes on race. Is he gonna
what?
Hold the Nazis accountable?
No. Of course not.
Come on now.
Of course not. What kind of question is that? I mean, they already removed the study from the DOJ website that said that 74 or 77% of extremist-related violence is right-wing extremists. Like, they removed 100%. The study. Like, so yeah, no, they're not gonna hold them accountable. They're gonna send their thoughts and prayers.
Antifa.
I was having a conversation with a friend about that. And he was like, "You really don't believe that, do you?" I was like, "Don't believe what? Like the U.S. Census?"
Also, you don't need to look up a study. You could just recall from memory. Like, you just think, what was Columbine? Oh yeah, that was some little white supremacist. What was Uvalde? That was a white supremacist. Oh, what was the what are the Westboro Baptist Church? Those are all white supremacists. Yeah. What about most of them? Yeah. I can maybe think of like 2 that weren't just directly connected to white supremacy, and that's because they were indirectly connected to white supremacy. Like the kid from that church. They're so close. The kid from that church recently that said it was like a trans shooter. That kid just kind of hated everybody. Like, it wasn't like white supremacy. It was just very severely mentally ill. Like, they expressed hatred for Mexicans, black people, white people, the government, people who hate the government. Like, it just hatred for just a deeply hateful person. Like, it makes no sense to me that the study was taken down. I mean, it makes complete sense. They're trying to create their own fucking stories and shit. Yep. Yeah. It's just this.
We're so close to becoming North Korea.
So fucking close. I mean, already I was thinking, completely shutting the borders. Already that's already close enough. But then also sending the military into cities.
Not for real. Like,
that's
Washington D.C.
That's as
so
close
you can't
as
go
it
up
gets.
there and protest and shit. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Guess what I wish I could do right now? If I had no kids, I would be in D.C. right now protesting. Like,
fuck yeah.
That's where I'm at right now, because, I don't, at the moment right now, I haven't started the full-time job, so at the moment I necessarily don't have one. I could be in D.C. right now protesting, or Portland now, which is what the latest news is that.
And that's how they got us, because we're too busy trying to survive. We can't band together. You know what I'm saying? We got loved ones we're trying to focus on.
Yeah, which is why I recently volunteered for the Kenosha Democratic Party, because I'm tired of yelling at my phone screen and yelling into this microphone. So I would rather yell where it matters, And I'm not saying this podcast doesn't matter. It matters very much to me and, to Rashid and to the people that listen to it. But to get it out there more and get my own message out there, I gotta do something. I can't sit behind this fucking computer anymore, man. Like, I gotta do something.
This shit sucks. It's just like, damn. America's supposed to be great, bro. Not this shit. Not this shit.
And here's the thing is, I am a pretty accepting person. Like, at the bar that I work at, I bartended a Republican rally and had really, really good and insightful conversations with people who, like, they said, like, I got into this, like, working these jobs, like, at these rallies, because I was tired of yelling at my TV screen and yelling at my phone screen. I figured I'd rather put that yelling to use. And I'm like, God, that's inspirational. Like, I want to do that, so that's what I'm gonna try and do. But, like, then I listened to Brian Stile, the representative for the 1st Congressional District of Wisconsin, who's my representative. I watched a couple of town halls with him, and he's just getting yelled at and screamed at and, you know, getting chastised by, like, old farmers and stuff. And he's being talked to, and everything that they're saying, he's saying, I disagree with you. And I was like, yeah, you're their representative. I don't think you're supposed to be disagreeing with them. You can say things like, I hear you, but this is what the majority of my constituents that I've talked to think, as opposed to your idea. Maybe me and my team can come up with some form of compromise. I'm like, that's what you're supposed to say, not just like, well, you're wrong, I'm right, so I'm going to vote for what I think. I was like, you're representing those people, meaning you're supposed to be a mouthpiece for them, not you're a mouthpiece for the people you're voting for. Like, that's stupid. He pisses me off, and that's actually why I wanted to get into it. I'm like,
yeah, bro.
I'm so
become
sick.
the representative.
I'm so
Do
sick. I wish I could run against him in the next election, but he's gonna lose next year because everybody hates him. Wisconsin's turning so blue.
It's hard not to, because me and you had this conversation before too. Like, regular, normal Republicans, you know, reasonable ones, they're also pretty tired of it, from the people that I've spoken to, at least, and
right?
from
Because,
some people that you've spoken to as well.
They're also, it's because they're not, you know, MAGA is not Republican,
right?
Like, I grew up around Republicans. This is not that, and like. And
Me
you
too,
can say
yeah.
things. You can say things that are true, but kind of extreme. Kind of like, you know, all that people kind of take the wrong way. Like saying the words like all white supremacists are Republican. You're not saying all Republicans are white supremacists. So and that's kind of the big problem, is that they're being lumped into this group of, you know, bad and violent behaviors, and it chastises. And I'm like, no, I don't think Republicans are bad people. I think corrupt politicians are bad no matter what side they're on, because I'm not going to sit here and say no Democratic politician is corrupt. We talked about Cory Booker early in this podcast about the filibuster that he did, but then last week, 2 weeks ago, voted to keep sending weapons to Israel. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I was so disappointed when I saw his name on that list of Democrats. Like,
I wasn't, because it's people nowadays, everything is geared towards making you pick Democrat or Republican instead of just picking right or wrong. And Democrats have always voted with Israel. It's
the money. It's where the money's coming from.
Right.
Hey, and you know what's stopping them? I know when I was in fire school, my captain at the time, Jeff Brewer, shout out to him. He was telling me, like, most Democrats agree with a lot of Republicans, but they can't say it, and vice versa, right? He was like, but the reason they can't do that is because of political suicide, because you can't say something and agree with them, and then it's like totally nobody's gonna fuck with you from your side if you say that. Like, many of them don't even believe most of the shit that's going on in the government, but like they don't want to lose their position of power. You get what I'm saying?
That's why I have so much
it's like
respect.
you gotta stay.
Say what?
Continue. You can go. You good?
I was like, that's why I have so much respect for Bernie Sanders. Like, he votes with the Democratic Party for the most part, but he's an open independent. He
tears into them. Yeah,
he tears them up. I mean, he tears up both sides, but he's
sides, right?
Open about being an independent, but he's like, I go with the Democratic Party because most of the things that I vote for end up being Democrat, but it's not because I vote. That's not why I vote for it. It's because that's what I think. I vote for what I think is right, not what my party wants. Like, that's why I love Bernie Sanders. He has no problem. He's been in politics for so long, but that's why he can get away with it, though, is because he's been in politics since the
Forever,
70s, like 60s maybe. I mean, he was getting arrested at civil rights rallies, like.
Yeah.
But that's like what you need in a leader for real, is somebody that'll keep their people in check and be like, this ain't right, and then do the same side to the other side. You get what I'm saying? It's you don't see that a lot nowadays. Probably just some people.
Yeah. I do want to the article that I got, those indicators of violence. I didn't vet the article too much. It said that it was a breakdown of the what's it called? The executive order. It could very much be wildly partisan and wildly biased. So I did it because I thought it was funny and I thought it was a fun game to play. Do not take what we say in this episode seriously. Somebody wants me to come out to the bar. No. Yeah, don't take what we say in this episode seriously. We are not experts and we are not fucking expert researchers or anything like that. Like, I have to keep saying that because speaking of which, actually, so we got a comment. Finally. We got some hate mail, Hey. And I wanted to tell you about it now and talk to you about it. And, I was as respectful as I could be in this. It was the last clip I posted about Charlie Kirk. And from what it actually sounds like, they listened to the full episode, because nothing in this episode or nothing in that clip talked about freedom of speech. It was all about Charlie Kirk, and his comment was about freedom of speech. So I assumed that he listened to the episode. So shout out him. And he said, the fact that you think free speech is now under attack, you're about 14 years too late. I hope the right keeps swinging, because the left definitely needs a wake-up call. And I prefaced my response by saying, thank you for your comment. We genuinely appreciate any feedback, even negative, from anyone.
Right.
But I also said, 14 years ago, I was 12. So I had no idea what was going on around that time. So I can't really talk about that. But assuming that I like Biden or Obama because I don't like Trump is objectively wrong.
Yeah, that is completely incorrect, because I hate Biden.
I hate Biden. Him. Yeah, we don't like that motherfucker either.
Forgive my shit. That's all I asked you for. You failed.
Yeah, forgive my student loans, and that's why we voted for you.
For the rest of your turn, I don't know what you did, bro. I didn't like it.
It was up there.
I'm from North Carolina, and
yeah, bro. What
you gotta hit the planks with a hammer.
If you're listening, you probably know the stop sign sound, right?
Stop sign.
That's what Joe Biden was doing.
What you mean stop sign?
For 3 years. The first year, it looked like he was doing something, and then he just
lost it.
That's what Trump's gonna do with the goddamn Epstein's files. That's what Trump's gonna do with the Epstein files.
But here's the thing, because you said Biden and Obama. I was 9 years old when Obama was voted in. All right.
Okay.
But when I saw him voted in, I saw, the first black president, which was an awesome thing, because we all grew up in a pretty diverse area, so it was really, really cool for everybody, because they were like, holy shit, like, this is huge, right? Like, it was huge. But I was too young to pay attention to policies. I had no fucking clue. I still don't quite know. I know that he had made some questionable diplomatic decisions on, some foreign policies. But overall, like, his economic decisions were quite the benefit to most people. He also came after the recession, so he, made do with what he had, and he, from what I understand, did a pretty good job. And no matter if you are left or right, like, you might hate Obama for his policies, but everybody can agree that he is a man of class, and probably, like, at least he is what I thought a politician was supposed to be like. because, he's respectful to both sides, listens to both sides, and some of his things were, he apparently did some Republican-esque things. Like, he doesn't just stick to Democratic shit just because he's a Democrat. He did some things. So I'm like,
he also got attacked for not defending, but paying respects to Charlie Kirk, which is interesting because he got attacked by.
Well, he's a Christian man who was a politician and the president for 8 years. Why do you think he wouldn't, condemn political violence and pray for the family? Like, why do you think he wouldn't do that?
But there isn't that, it was people from the MAGA crowd that was instead of accepting that he's saying rest in peace, they were just like, nope, this is your fault. You don't get to say rest in peace.
Right.
Always Obama's fault.
Right. But I think most of the back to this guy's comment, right? So
yeah,
hold on. So I said, I don't like either of them. I don't like Biden or Obama. I like Obama. That's not true. I do like Obama. From what I know, obviously I wasn't comprehending anything at the time related to politics. He said, the guy back to what I said, good luck on your endeavor. While it might seem negative, while it might be seen as negative, I'm not trying to be mean to individuals. Not your fault, but you were too young to know about what was going on. So shout out this guy for, commenting and staying respectful. Also I said, hey, no problem. We're recording tonight. We'll talk about your feedback. He said, I don't know if I should be concerned. And I said, you'll be fine. We appreciate all feedback. And RJ's catchphrase on the show is, by the way, guys, send Ryan hate mail.
So
and
thank you for finally doing
it. Finally got some hate. And he said, no hate yet, but maybe next time. So fuck you, guy.
Damn.
Nah, shout out
shout out this
Dead M5337 for commenting. Finally, we got something going.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Where's the
I can make...
your ass
No, wait, hold on.
Fucking yeah!
Oh my goodness.
That's what we do out here.
Shout out, dude.
Why we come to the office,
Come into the office.
Shit, even if you like Ryan, make an alt account and then,
make an alt
hate mail.
account is crazy.
Send them hate mail.
Nah, shout out, dude. And yeah, to clarify, we don't like Biden, but I do want to say that the main reason people hated Biden was because of how much money he ended up sending Ukraine and supporting the Ukraine's efforts, right?
I didn't appreciate it.
We didn't appreciate it. Trump just sided with Ukraine and agreed to keep funding the effort. So, what leg do you now have to stand on? But Biden. But Trump. Now, you have no leg.
Yeah, because it's every president, and that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. Every president always funds. They're going to fund our allies, so they're going to fund Ukraine. They're going to fund.
And not only that,
Palestine.
he also agreed. He also agreed with the fact that Ukraine should join NATO. So the whole point of the war that now everybody hated Biden for was agreeing that they should join NATO and supporting the efforts. Now Trump is doing the same fucking thing, right. And you're not going to hear shit about it. They're not going to do shit. They're going to say shit.
They're going to say it's great. They're going to be like, "Oh, isn't this what you guys wanted?"
Well, the fucking cronies are going to say it's great, but I'm sure Trump has never failed to make his followers look dumb. And now it's starting to become way more prominent and way more often that it's starting to be a lot more noticed by his followers. His followers are largely unless they're the diehards. Garbage. Whoa, hey guys, I wasn't going there. I don't disagree, but hang on. They're kind of turning and questioning his leadership now, unless they're diehards.
Oh, I don't like those people.
Yeah, no, the diehards, go fuck yourself. If you have a favorite politician at all, you're weird.
When they're working for the same person, it's crazy.
You're weird.
Because all of them, they're not funding America. I need fucking help here. God
Yeah,
damn it.
bro. What about me? Like,
Exactly. Like
okay.
Fuck Ukraine.
You know,
not
do your
literally,
best.
but
do your best to help Ukraine. Do your best to help Gaza.
Bro,
but
we
your
got
priority,
a lot going on
right?
in this country.
Your priority should be here. Do your best to help those people without compromising your own people. Right? They are our allies, but they're not America, right? Like, help them. And I do want to also point out, United States was one of 7 nations that refused to recognize Gaza or Palestine as a state. 7.
And it's crazy.
It's crazy. Because now...
Land of the free. Come on.
Yeah, now motherfuckers across the pond are going to think that we don't think that should happen. It's like, no, it's not us. It's that motherfucker, all right? Yeah. I had nothing to... I think Palestine should be a state, and I think they should, what... Like, this motherfucker in office makes everybody in America look so bad, dude.
I mean, but it's been going on for a long while, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip what we talked about, dude's comments and post it. Make sure I tag him.
Perfect.
This is a decent episode. This is really nice.
I did talk a lot. Sorry.
No, I love it. I love hearing.
That's what we're here for. We're here to
listen to my.
It's your podcast, goddammit.
Listen to my rants and fucking. No, that's not my podcast. That's me and Rashid's podcast.
You know what the fuck I meant, nigga.
He's Tony Stark and I'm Captain America. I just look good. He handles the building.
They ended up beating the living shit out of ech other, right?
No, they jumped Tony, which me and Brian are gonna do to you.
I have a gun.
So did Tony Stark.
Fuck. Man, I wish I was Tony Stark. I'd have some money.
Damn it.
Shout out Bucked Up for sponsoring the podcast. Make sure to use code TRASH1 on your purchase to get 20% off of everything except for protein sodas and energy drinks. So make sure code TRASH1, that's all caps trash and then the number 1 to get 20% off. Fantastic episode. I liked it. I do feel like I talked a lot though, so apologies if you want to hear Rashid's voice a little bit more. Leave a hate comment. Tell me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And if you tell me to shut the fuck up, suck my dick, eat my balls, lick my asshole. Fuck you. Leave a hate comment. Anything to add, guys?
Let me say it.
Okay.
As always,
stay trash.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Wallahi, you are gay.